Good afternoon, Texans. Welcome to the Texan Sports Minute, and I'm Shelby Hilton. As always, lots of happenings in the sports world. In the last week, we saw the MLB playoffs begin and Tarleton having their first home game of the season against rival Midwestern State. Today on the show, we have Texans tennis wraps up final regional tournament, Texans swept by Eastern New Mexico, Tarleton drops home opener to Midwestern State, Oakland A's on the wrong end of postseason magic. Tarleton Sports reports that Tarleton State tennis team wrapped up this weekend at the ITA South Central Regional Tournament at Midwestern State University Sunday afternoon. The Texan duo Erica Richarm and Luisa Adez highlighted the weekend by defeating teams from Colorado Mesa, Newman, Western New Mexico, and St. Edwards, and claimed the consolation championship. In single action, Stevens and Richarm were the only Texans to win their first round match. After dropping the opening round, Luisa Adez made the most noise in the consolation bracket by advancing to the semifinals round before falling out in contention. Elward also won her first two games of the consolation bracket after dropping a tough round first match. Tarleton will play its final fall tennis tournament on October 11th when the Texans head to Nacogdoches for the Stephen F. Austin tournament. The Texan volleyball team was swept for the second straight match against Eastern New Mexico at Greyhound Arena. This is the third time since 2010 that Tarleton State has been swept in back-to-back sets, and the second consecutive season for it to happen in the Canyon Portales road trip. After the Texans were locked in a battle with the Azias, a bad set by Tarleton gave Eastern New Mexico the advantage that followed through to their 25-15 win. Despite jumping out to a quick 3-0 lead, Tarleton had to play from behind for most of the set after an 8-1 run by the Azias gave Eastern New Mexico an 8-4 advantage. Tarleton fought back and evened the score 21-21, but the momentum was shifted back to Eastern New Mexico before long. The Azias proved to be too much for the Texans as Eastern New Mexico went on to take the set 25-16 and the match 3-0. Tarleton State will return to action at Wisdom Gym Friday at 6 p.m. when the Texans host Angelo State. And our own Todd Coley reports that Tarleton football dropped its second straight game Saturday night with a 27-23 loss to number 18 Midwestern State in the 2014 home opener at Memorial Stadium. In a tight battle between Lone Star Conference rivals, Tarleton State took a late lead on a 12-yard touchdown strike from Colin Strahan to Clifton Rhodes, the third, with 6 minutes and 29 seconds left in the game. But the Mustangs took the ensuing drive back the other way for the game-winning touchdown. Strahan hit Bubba Tandy for 14 yards, who pitched away in hopes of breaking a big run, but it was to no avail as the Mustangs took over on downs, kneeled on the ball, and led on to victory. The game was a defensive battle through the first 28 minutes of the contest, as Tarleton struck first on a 13-yard touchdown strike from Strahan to Dominic Martin with 8 minutes and 31 seconds left in the first, and Midwestern evened it up with a 1-yard rush at 8 minutes and 12 seconds in the second quarter. With a minute and 56 seconds left before halftime, the teams combined for a 13-point in the final minutes of the half after scoring just 14 total points in the opening 28 minutes. The teams traded field goals in the third quarter at Midwestern as Midwestern added another kick with 11 minutes and 32 seconds left in the game to make it a 20-16 before the Rose the third touchdown started the final minutes of action. Tarleton State will head to Texas A&M Commerce next week for a 7 p.m. meeting with the Lions at Commerce Memorial Stadium. And nationally, the Associated Press reports for the MLB playoffs. It had been 29 years since the Kansas City Royals had last been to the postseason, and the fans would be rewarded for their long wait. It was a close game that saw the A's jump to a 2-0 lead after the top of the first, but Kansas City would return the favor, scoring 1 in the bottom of the first, then 2 more in the third to take a 3-2 lead. The 6 innings spelled trouble for the Royals, however, when Brandon Moss hit a 432-foot bomb that scored 3. The A's would take on more than 2 more after that to extend their lead to 7-3. The Royals had to wait until the 8th to get 2 more runs, and then finally tied it at 7, all in the 9th inning. The game went to extras, and it wasn't until the 12th inning that either team was able to score. Alberto Calypso was able to hit a short single that scored Josh Reddick, putting the A's up 8-7. The Royals had the bottom of the 12th to answer the score and would. After some creative base running, Salvador Perez was able to hit a single that scored Christian Colon, and the Royals saw their first postseason victory in almost 3 decades. The Royals now head to California to play in the first round of the playoffs against the Angels in a best-of-5 series. As always, you can catch head football coach Kerry Fowler at Legends Country Club from 6 to 7 p.m. on Monday for his weekly radio show that will also air live on KTRL 90.5. Fans can tweet questions to Coach Fowler at Tarleton Sports using the hashtag FowlerShow. The next volleyball game will be Friday, October 3rd against Angelo State at 6 p.m. Next home football game will be homecoming on Saturday, October 11th against A&M Kingsville at 6 p.m. Early warning for Midnight Madness as well. That will be taking place at October 14th, and the doors open at 11:15. Follow us on Twitter at Texan News Sports. Also, please click on the link below to see exclusive interviews with head baseball coach, Coach Brian Conger, and senior shortstop Evan Robinson, as well as interviews with Texan volleyball player Katie Covell and Kenya Alexander. Well, sports fans, that pretty much covers what has happened around these parts in the last week. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and also thanks to Bethany Kyle, Azia Brandon, and Todd Coley. Have a great week, Texans.